Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of the Cheat Meal presented by Deep Fried Draft. My name is Brian Bosarge. This is going to be our bowl game preview number 2 of 3. This one should go up on 12/21, so look for that. We're going to release them every Wednesday, starting on 12/14, 12/21, 12/28. So this is the middle one. So we're going to start with the games that will happen on 12/26, the day after Christmas. The Heart of Dallas Bowl, 12:30 p.m. on ESPN between Utah and West Virginia. For Utah, a couple of senior defensive linemen, very high on Lowell Lotulelei. I've talked about him many times. They also have another defensive lineman, Filippo Mokafisi, to keep an eye on. For West Virginia, their junior quarterback, Will Greer, probably won't play in this game, but announced on 12/14 that he is going to return to school next season. Junior wide receiver David Seals and senior wide receiver Karan White. I wonder if this is David Seals' last game as a Mountaineer, or if he'll return to play another season with a Will Greer, but this will be Karan White's last game at West Virginia. The Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit between Duke and Northern Illinois, 4:15 on ESPN. For Duke, for both teams, their top prospect will be redshirt sophomores who neither expect to declare. But for Duke, redshirt sophomore quarterback Daniel Jones. For Northern Illinois is edge rusher Sutton Smith, who's been just one of the most productive players in all of college football this year. The Cactus Bowl between UCLA and Kansas State. It's an 8 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. For UCLA, will junior quarterback Josh Rosen play? Should he play? I mean, probably not, but we'll see. For Kansas State, look for number 51, redshirt sophomore edge rusher Reggie Walker, a 6'2", 247-pound player. 12/27 is the Independence Bowl in Shreveport, Louisiana, between Southern Miss and Florida State. Probably not where Florida State expected to play before the season started, if we're going to be honest. But that game's at 12:30 p.m. on ESPN. For Florida State, their top prospects, obviously, are the two defensive backs. Junior safety Derwin James has already declared for the draft, and he will not play in this game. Tarvaris McFadden, junior corner, has not declared. Also, I don't know if he does, if he will play or not. For Southern Miss, their top prospect is senior running back Ito Smith, who I'd love to see get an invite to the Shrine game or the NFLPA game. I don't think Senior Bowl will be in the cards unless he's like a fallback guy. But he's a great talent. The Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium between Iowa and Boston College. It's a 4:15 kickoff on ESPN. Iowa, their top prospect and a player who has risen up the ranks all season long is number 15, junior corner Josh Jackson, a 6'1", 185 player. And they also have their senior linebacker Josie Jewell, number 43, 6'2", 230. For Boston College, their top prospect is, and a potential top 10 to top 15 pick, is senior edge rusher number 7, Harold Landry, who has accepted an invite to the Senior Bowl. The Foster Farms Bowl in Santa Clara, California, between Arizona and Purdue. That's a 7:30 kickoff on Fox. For Arizona, the player to watch is not draft eligible, but is quarterback Khalil Tate, who's been one of the best players in college football since about mid-October. And for Purdue, NFLPA game invited this player in Western Kentucky transfer, number 6, senior linebacker TJ McCollum. The Texas Bowl in Houston between Missouri and Texas, 8 p.m. on ESPN. For Missouri, a player who could declare for the draft is junior quarterback Drew Lock. I don't think he should. I'm not overly high on Drew Lock. They also have Senior Bowl invite senior wide receiver Jamon Moore. For Texas, they had 4 players all declare for the draft, none of which will play in this game. Malik Jefferson, the linebacker, Holton Hill, the corner, Deshaun Elliott, safety, and Connor Williams, the offensive tackle, who could be a top 10 pick, but none will play in this game. The top player for Texas, who I believe will play in this game, is number 95, senior defensive lineman Poona Ford, a 6', 305-pound nose tackle prospect. On 12/28 is the Military Bowl in Annapolis, Maryland. So a home game for Navy as they play Virginia, 12:30 p.m. on ESPN. No prospects of note for Navy, but how awesome were those Blue Angel uniforms against when they played Army? Virginia, they have 4 players at the Senior Bowl, including senior quarterback Kurt Benkert, who has a chance to be a top 100 player if he has a good week in Mobile. Senior defensive lineman Andrew Brown, senior linebacker Micah Kaiser, and senior safety Quinn Blanding all will be in Mobile. Big Who convention there in Mobile. The Camping World Bowl in Orlando, 4:15 p.m. on ESPN between Oklahoma State and Virginia Tech. This could be one of the more fun matchups of the bowl season. For Oklahoma State, they have 3 players here, all committed to the Senior Bowl, including their senior quarterback Mason Rudolph, who has a chance to be, depending on who the 6th quarterback is that accepts, he has a chance to be the top quarterback prospect in Mobile. Definitely the top, well, depending if Cortland Sutton comes, James Washington could be the top receiver prospect in Mobile at the Senior Bowl, the Biletnikoff Award winner. They also have senior wide receiver Marcel Aitman will be in Mobile. For Virginia Tech, DBs, they're going to need them, and they got some good ones with a junior corner Adonis Alexander, senior defensive back Greg Stroman, and senior corner Brandon Faison, who will be at the Shrine Game. The Alamo Bowl in San Antonio, Stanford and TCU, 8 p.m. on ESPN. For Stanford, junior corner number 24 Quentin Meek, 6'1", 195, is a player to watch, as is senior defensive lineman number 66 Harrison Phillips, 6'3", 278. For TCU, a guy who who exploded on the scene to me late in the season is their senior edge rusher number 9 Matt Bozen, a 6'4", 240-pounder. The Holiday Bowl in San Diego, Michigan State and Washington State, 8 p.m. on FS1. For Michigan State, their top prospect, probably junior running back number 3 LJ Scott, 6 foot 238-pound back, and their senior guard number 65 Brian Allen, 6'2", 306. For Washington State, their top prospect is probably junior edge rusher Hercules Mataafa. Played inside defensive tackle at Washington State, but he'll be an edge rusher in the NFL because of his size. Senior Bowl invite senior quarterback Luke Falk. Also there to watch that one. 12:29, the Belk Bowl in Charlotte between Texas A&M and Wake Forest, noon on ESPN. For A&M, their top prospect is junior wide receiver Christian Kirk. Player has a chance to go in the first round. Their senior defensive lineman, Zakoven Henderson, was arrested and likely will be suspended for this game. For Wake Forest, their top prospects are Senior Bowl commit edge rusher Duke Ejiofor and Shrine Game commits tight end Cam Serenier. The Sun Bowl in El Paso, Arizona State and NC State, a 2 p.m. kickoff on CBS. For Arizona State, their top prospect is senior running back Calvin Ballage. He'll be at the Senior Bowl. They also have another good running back in Demario Richard. For NC State, 3 of their 4 defensive linemen have accepted Senior Bowl invites. Justin Jones, B.J. Hill, and supposedly Kentavious Street has as well, but that has not been confirmed. But Bradley Chubb will also likely get a Senior Bowl invite, but I would suspect he will decline, as he's a top 5 prospect. The Music City Bowl, Kentucky and Northwestern, 3:30 p.m. on ESPN. For Kentucky, their top prospect is number 87, junior tight end C.J. Conrad, a 6'5", 245-pound player. For Northwestern, they have senior running back number 21, Justin Jackson, 5'11", 190. He'll play in the Shrine Game. And another player that gets a lot of buzz from Northwestern is, and I just haven't seen it yet, I guess, is number 18, junior quarterback Clayton Thorson, a 6'3", 215-pounder. May have to do a little deep dive into that because, anyway. Arizona Bowl in Tucson between New Mexico State and Utah State, 4:30 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. For New Mexico State, we've talked about it before. This is their first bowl game since 1960. Easily their top draft prospect is going to be senior wide receiver Jaleel Scott, who will be at the Senior Bowl, 6'6" receiver, just crazy good. For Utah State, haven't seen anybody jump out at me on their team, but they always have one or two players who end up on NFL rosters. It's just a good program there. And finally, the first of the New Year's Six bowl games is the Cotton Bowl between Ohio State and Southern Cal, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. For Ohio State, the players to watch is a couple of defensive backs. Number 12, junior corner Denzel Ward, 5'11", 184. And number 3, junior safety Damon Webb, 5'11", 193. Southern Cal, redshirt sophomore quarterback Sam Darnold. Should he go back? I think so. Will he? A lot of teams going to need quarterbacks. He may see that as an opportunity to get paid. I also love junior running back Ronald Jones as a late first-round possibility. And junior wide receiver Deontay Burnett, should he declare, could also make an impact next season in the NFL. That's going to do it for part 2 of our bowl preview series. As always, follow me on Twitter at Deep Fried Draft, Facebook.com/Deep Fried Draft, YouTube, and the Bumpers app in the App Store. Follow that to book your vacations. Next time. Later.